The name Shawna Forde sends shivers down the spines of those familiar with her story, a tale of ambition, fanaticism, and cold-blooded murder. Once an outspoken activist, she spiraled into a dark abyss, committing acts so heinous they shocked the nation. Her journey from vigilante to convicted killer reveals the destructive power of extremism and the chilling lengths to which someone will go in the pursuit of a twisted ideology, a troubled past. Shawna Forde's early life was marked by instability. Born in 1967, she grew up in Everett, Washington, in an environment of dysfunction and abuse. Forde's tumultuous upbringing set the stage for her troubled adult life. In and out of foster homes, she faced challenges that would later fuel her radicalization. As an adult, Forde cycled through various jobs and attempted to create a stable life. However, her path remained fraught with conflict. A string of failed relationships and accusations of theft and fraud hinted at her darker tendencies. It wasn't long before these traits manifested in a far more dangerous form. Descent into extremism. By the mid-2000s, Forde had become heavily involved in far-right activism, specifically targeting immigration. She joined Minuteman Civil Defense Corps, a group of self-proclaimed border vigilantes who patrolled the U.S.-Mexico border, seeking to stop undocumented immigrants. Forde's fiery rhetoric and unrelenting ambition quickly made her a controversial figure within the movement. However, her erratic behavior and violent tendencies eventually led to her expulsion from the group. Undeterred, Forde formed her own splinter organization, Minutemen American Defense, MAD. Under the guise of border security, Forde pushed an agenda that was far more radical and dangerous. She began to view herself as a soldier in a war, willing to do whatever it took to fund her group's operations, even if it meant turning to criminal activity. The brutal crimes. In 2009, Forde's descent reached its horrifying climax. Desperate for money to finance her vigilante group, Forde orchestrated a plan that was both ruthless and senseless. She targeted Raul Flores, a suspected drug dealer living in Arivaca, Arizona. Forde believed that robbing Flores would yield enough money to support her organization, but her assumptions would lead to unimaginable tragedy. On May 30, 2009, Forde, along with her accomplices Jason Eugene Bush and Albert Robert Gaxiola, broke into Flores's home under the pretense of law enforcement. Armed and dangerous, the group unleashed a night of terror. They shot and killed Raul Flores and his 9-year-old daughter, Brisenia, in cold blood. Flores's wife, Gina Gonzalez, was also shot but miraculously survived by pretending to be dead. Gonzalez later recounted the harrowing ordeal, describing how Brisenia pleaded for her life before being brutally murdered. The crime shocked the small community of Arivaca and the nation as a whole. The senseless killing of a child, coupled with the cold calculation of Forde's plan, revealed the depths of her depravity. The investigation and arrest. Gina Gonzalez's testimony played a crucial role in the investigation. Despite her injuries, she provided detailed descriptions of the attackers, leading authorities to Shawna Forde and her accomplices. Investigators uncovered a web of evidence linking Forde to the murders, including stolen items from the Flores home and incriminating statements she made to associates. Forde's capture marked the beginning of a high-profile trial that drew national attention. Prosecutors painted her as the mastermind of a meticulously planned crime, driven by greed and extremist ideology. Forde showed no remorse, maintaining her innocence even as the evidence against her mounted. Trial and sentencing. In February 2011, Shawna Forde was convicted on 2 counts of first-degree murder and sentenced to death. Her accomplice, Jason Bush, also received a death sentence, while Albert Gaxiola was sentenced to life in prison without parole. The verdicts brought a measure of justice to the Flores family and served as a stark reminder of the dangers of radicalization. Forde remains on death row in Arizona, appealing her conviction. Her case continues to spark debate about the role of extremism in fueling violence and the thin line between activism and criminality. Legacy of violence. The murders orchestrated by Shawna Forde left an indelible scar on the Arivaca community and the nation. The brutal nature of her crimes and the ideology that motivated them have been the subject of extensive analysis. Critics argue that the rhetoric surrounding immigration and border security contributed to Ford's radicalization, while others see her as an isolated figure whose actions cannot be attributed to broader social movements. Regardless of the broader implications, the story of Shawna Forde is a sobering reminder of how unchecked ambition and extremist beliefs can lead to devastating consequences. It underscores the importance of addressing the root causes of radicalization and ensuring that movements advocating for change do not devolve into platforms for violence. A cautionary tale. Shawna Forde's journey from activist to convicted murderer is a cautionary tale about the dangers of extremism and the human cost of violent ideologies. Her story is not just about the lives she took but also about the broader societal issues that allowed her to thrive. As we reflect on her crimes, we must also confront the forces that fueled her actions, striving to create a world where such tragedies are not repeated. The name Shawna Forde will forever be synonymous with betrayal, of the values she claimed to uphold, of the trust of her community, and of the innocent lives she so callously ended. Thank you for watching. If you enjoy true crime stories and chilling unsolved mysteries, be sure to like this video, leave a comment, and hit the subscribe button for more spine-tingling content.